Hey guys, in this video we are going to discuss all about Lightning Web Components. What are the Lightning Web Components? How it is going to help us on developing the Lightning components? What is the existing system and what are the problems associated with the existing system that were our components? And then we are going to discuss the structure of our new Lightning Web Components. Then we will also do some comparison on our Aura framework and then Web Components. And then we'll also do a small exercise for creating a small hello world lightning web component with the help of Visual Code Studio and Salesforce DX. So let's go ahead, and this is the complete agenda that we are going to cover in upcoming next 45 to 60 minutes. So this was the existing system. In our existing system we were using more and more frameworks and less standard web standards. If you see in the screen that I am sharing right now, you can see that there are many frameworks like data services, UI components, what are the component models, how we can optimize the rendering with the help of Aura frameworks, and the custom templates that we wanted to develop. And then we also have some legal expressions for displaying or showing, hiding, or calling methods of a JavaScript controller from JavaScript controller to calling a fs class method. And then we also have some value providers and action provider like C and V. And in the web standards, we are using very few less, like we are using ECMA script that was version 5, and we are also using some rendering components, and then standard elements, and we are using some events that we were whenever we were working with the Lightning components. Now, our new proposed system, what is it saying that we need to use more standards and less frameworks so that we can also improve the performance of our Lightning web components with the help of web standards that are using ECMA script 7 instead of 5. So if you can see that for the Lightning web components, we are only using three frameworks, that are security and Lightning Data Services, which will communicate with Salesforce directly with the help of metadata. And then we'll also give us some basic information that we are also getting from the Aura framework. And then base Lightning components. So for the Lightning Web components, there are new base Lightning components, the complete Lightning based component that are available for Aura, that are also available for web components, but the structure is a bit different. That I'll show you once we will be working on the demo. And then in web standard parts, we have web components that we are going to use, templates, our HTML5 templates that we can use here. We can enable HTML5 templates. We can also create our custom elements, shadow dom modules, ECMA script 7 events, and you can see that there are a lot of web standards that we are not going to make use of any other frameworks instead of the frameworks that are listed here. And there is also good news about Lightning web standards web components is that these web components can be used inside the Lightning Aura framework, but Aura framework cannot be used inside Lightning web components. And this is the complete comparison. You can see that on the left hand side there is a Aura programming model, and on the right hand side there is web component model. So you can see that this is the common thing that both models are using Lightning web components and then Aura framework. So you can see that security, LDS, and base components both are using, as I discussed earlier. And then if you see here, we are using for the framework, we are using custom component model. That instead of that we have web components and the standard web standards. Instead of custom templates, we have HTML5 templates that are the web standards that has been come over in the last 5 years, from 14 to 19, in the year between 14 to 19. And then instead of custom components, we have custom elements that we are going to use with the help of JavaScript. Rendering optimization, we don't need that, we have already shadow dom. And then custom modules, standard events, and custom events. Instead of custom events, we are going to use standard events. So there is also one benefit of using standard events, that there were some events that were not using and that were not support in the Visual Force pages are lightning out whenever we are working, and then we have the script, I think script versioning, and then you can see that we have events, standard events, and rendering. So this is all the comparison of all that. So you can see that this is the basic comparison that we are using. So in case of Lightning Web Components, we are using most of the Web standards that are already available in the market instead of custom. And then now let's do some magic. Now let's do some coding. So what we are going to do, we will set up a Visual Studio, and then we will set up Salesforce CLI, then we will create Salesforce Hello World Lightning component, we'll post it to the Scratch org, and then we'll see how it is working and how cool it is. So let's go ahead. So this is my Visual Studio code. This is my Visual Studio and that I already downloaded. So what I'll do is I'll go back and we'll show you how you can download this Visual Studio. So let's go back and you can just type like on the Google, you can just type download Visual Studio, and you will simply direct with the like visualstudio.microsoft.com, and then from here you can just download Visual Studio like this one. For Windows you can just click on download, and then okay, this is not the right place. Visual Studio code, you need to go here, code.visualstudio.com. So here you can download, like you can see Windows 7, 8, 10. You can just download whatever the version your Windows is. Like for me it was 64, so I downloaded 64-bit version. And then you have to install Lightning, like Salesforce extension pack here in Salesforce in the Visual Studio, so that you can work with the Salesforce items like Apex classes, Lightning Web Components, Lightning Components, triggers, and all that, whatever the metadata supported by Salesforce. So let's go ahead and I'll show you from where you can download. So for that you need to go marketplace.visualstudio.com, and here if you search for Salesforce extension pack and you hit enter, you will get the Salesforce extension pack here, and this is the one that you need to install. So here you can see that there are four tabs: Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code, Azure DevOps, and then subscriptions. So you need to be sure that you are on Visual Studio Code tab, and then once you click here on the desired extension pack that you wanted, if you click on install, it will automatically open Visual Studio. And I'll show you from where in Visual Studio you can install. You don't need to do this, you just need to copy this code, or you can just type it in here. This is the Salesforce extension pack from where this is the extension marketplace actually for the Visual Studio. So from where you can just click on this, it will take you the marketplace, and then from there you can just type Salesforce extension pack, and you will get Salesforce extension pack. And if you click on this, you will see the same extension pack that we were uh, going through on our Google Chrome tab, and you will get a button here for the install. After installing, it will say that reload, then you need to click on the reload. And the next step is to install the Lightning Web Components, because if you not install Lightning Web Components extension pack, and that is in preview mode, you will not be able to create the Lightning Web Components. So you need to create Lightning Web Components. You can see Lightning Web Components here, you can type, and you will see, and you will also get install, and you will need to reload after installing the web components. And here you can say that it is in preview mode. And here you will also, if you scroll down, you will get the Lightning Component Web Developer Guide that will be officially available after December 17. So till that you have to meet, or you can just go through with the some recipes that Salesforce has provided officially on the GitHub. You can install those packages in your Scratch org or in your release org, and then you can go ahead you are clear enough, you have enough things to get started with the Lightning Web Components. And then next thing is, as we have set up this particular Visual Studio, you need to sign up for the sign up for the release org. So for that, what you need to do is you just need to go to this trailhead, that is quick start Lightning Web Component. You don't need to worry that from where you will find the link. I'll share with it on the description of the video. You can just click on this. You on the first trail that is here, first module, you will just get the link that sign up for www.salesforce /form/sign up release pre-release spring 19. So after you will sign up for this particular uh, pre-release event, pre-release Salesforce org, and then you will be able to like you need to provide some your information, first name, last name, email, and whatever the company you are working for and all that. And then once you here you can select which information for which Salesforce edition you wanted to. I'll say that go for the developer edition, and that will be enough for you. And then after this, what you need to do is here you need to do one more thing, that you need to install Salesforce CLI. For Salesforce CLI, what you need to do, you can just go back here on the same page, on the same Lightning, and you can just click on this like Windows 16 or Windows 14. But what I'll say, I'll recommend not to download the installer from here. Go to the Google and just find like Salesforce CLI download. So what it will give you, it will give you the latest version of the Salesforce CLI. This is the link for the previous version of the CLI. So what we need to do, you can just go ahead and on this link, like whatever the link I'm pointing, like developer.salesforce.com/tools/sfdx-cli, and from there you can download the latest version of the Salesforce CLI, so that you will not get any warning messages and all in your, sorry, this is, yep, this is the right place. You can just click on download Windows 64, and then it will be get downloaded, like macOS, Windows, Ubuntu. For whatever you wanted to download, you can just select that one and then you can download. And after downloading, you need to set the path of Salesforce DX. So how you can set the path of Salesforce DX in your Windows or in your Mac? So I'm going to show you for the Windows. So what you need to do is go to your My Computer, right click on that, click on Properties. It will open the control panel section, and then you need to click on Advanced System Settings. And after Advanced System Settings, you need to click on Environment Variable, and here on the path you need to click, if you don't have this path variable, you need to click on New and give the name path as it is, and then the variable value, what will be the variable value? The variable value will be, you need to go see, after installation of Salesforce CLI, go to the programming files Salesforce CLI and bin. You need to copy this particular path and go back here and paste that and then whatever you have copied and click on OK. If you have this path already, you just need to click on double click on that, click on New, and put the value as I already had, so I'm going to delete this one. I don't need this. And then you need to do the same for this system variables. Click on path, add that value, and after that, to verify that you have already set you enable the path, you set the path, you need to just open the command prompt and like just type sfdx and then plugins and then minus core, and it will give you the list of all the plugins whatever I like at Salesforce plugin generator, that is core, and then at Salesforce SFDX Trust bulletins, and then Salesforce SFDX 44.110. So if you if you download and you are not getting 44.110, what you need to do is just type SFDX and then update. So what it will do, it will just update your SFDX, whatever the SFDX latest version will be here, you will get that update here. Or you can just you will also And after this, you can see that already on latest version, so you don't need to do anything. It will just checking for other plugins, and it will just stop it after doing the checks. So we are already on the version 44 and all that. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this. Okay, and after that, now we need to do the things that we wanted to. Like, let's see. First, we are gonna, this is my existing project that I was working on, so let me close it. First, I'll show you from the step by step. First thing that you need to do is create a project for SFDX. So for opening the terminal, you just need to click on either you can just click on settings and command palette if you don't want it to remember the short keys, or you can just click on Control Shift P on the Windows and you will see the command palette like this. And then you can just type SFDX and then create project. You will see that create project with manifest file. You need to use this one because once you will select this, it will automatically create the JSON file that we needed for the project JSON. So if once you click on this, it will ask you for the name. You just need to do hello world lightning web component, and you need to hit enter, and it will ask for the workspace where you wanted to store. So I have created a folder in my D drive that is lightning web components, so I'm going to store there, and you will see the status, what the status of the project is. If you will get any error, it will give you the red mark. If you will not get any error, it will open the workspace with the new project and the Visual Studio Code. Here you can see it already had open and the new workspace. Here you can see this is the main thing that we are going to work. So, and now next thing what we need to do, if under default you are not able to get LWC folder by default, so what you need to do is you just need to right click new folder and type LWC, because this is LWC means Lightning Web Components, and this is the place where we are going to store, where Salesforce is going to store your Lightning Web Components, and this is the JSON file that we are talking about. So now let's go ahead and create. So what we need to do is first we are going to create a scratch arg. So before creating the scratch arg, we need to authorize with the DevOps. So what we are going to do is, it is saying that creating the project. Okay, after selecting our source.com, just double click on that and now click on this. So you will be able to find, like, you can just type authorize DevOps. So you just need to click, okay, saying that SFDC was auth. Okay, so what we need to do is, like, just click on exit, close this Visual Studio once and then open it again, and then it should work now, whatever we wanted to. Okay, so click on force.com app, double click, Control Shift P, SFDX and DevHub. Okay, it's still not working. Okay, let's try one more time. So what we are going to do, Control Shift P, the DevOps. You can see now it's working. So why this was because we ran SFDX update using the command palette, and then it was taking it takes some time to reflect on the system. So you don't need to worry if it doesn't work. You just wait for a few minutes and it will work. So you can see that it automatically opens a window where we need to provide our username. So you need to provide login with the org that you have created recently, or pre-release org. And as I have created a org that the username is sfdc panthazon and force.com, so I'm just entering the credential of that org, my pre-release org, and then I'm clicking on login. So after login, if you haven't authorized it before, it will ask, okay, why it is asking, we can't authorize you. Okay, I'll try it once more. This, cancel this, try again the same command. Uh, so what I was telling is that if you haven't authorized the DevOps before, you need to authorize. It will ask a permission it will ask for a permission and that you need to click on allow, and then it will authorize it login into your system. uh, when I say that system, that means it will log in into your release org. So here you can see that it has authorized and it is trying to log in. It has been logged into my org. So if you go back to your Visual Studio, you can see that it has been successfully ran, and then it will also show that execute 0. That means it's executed normally, and the org ID, whatever the org ID, what is the username that has been authorized. Next steps, that as you have authorized this DevHub, what you need to do is go to dev. You need to enable the DevHub in your release org. So for that, you are in setup. So let's type dev, and here you will get some DevHub. Click on this link. You will get a page where you will be asked for enable. You can just go ahead and enable it. And if you wanted to enable it, I have enabled it. So you can also enable it. That is not an issue. And next step is to create a scratch org. So what I'll do, I'll just create a scratch org. So I'll just type default, and you can see that here on the second option, that is create a default scratch org. So I'm going to select this. It will ask where what is the definition of project. So you just need to select this. The org, it is asking for the org alias name. So whatever the project name is, mine it is taking as same. So I'm not going to enter anything. It is asking for how many days you wanted to use this scratch arc. So by default I'm setting as 7, whatever the days they are taking here, and then I'm just hitting enter. And once the org will be created, you will see whatever the username and all that, whatever the org ID is for that org, and then we will be creating the lightning web component, the simple hello world web component. And after that we will be pushing the changes into our scratch org, and then we'll see the output as well. So let's wait for it, and in the meantime we are going to have a look in our trail that we are. So this is the third trail that is describing that how we can create lightning web components. So we are going to create like the project we created, and then after we authorize with the dev hub, you can see like this screen. If you haven't authorized, then you need to click on allow, and after we are creating an org, and then we are going to create that is hello world web component, and then we are going to use whatever the code is here in this traillet. So you can see that it has successfully run, and we can also see the org ID, what is the username, and what is the org alias and all that. So next is to create a web component. So Control Shift P, and if you type here web, you will see that sfdx create lightning web component. Click on that. It will ask where you want it to store. So you can see Force app, main default, and LWC. Type hello world, hit enter, and once you will hit enter, you can see the command that is for creating the web component is like sfdx force. Okay, what it is saying that? It is saying that lightning bundle must have a parent name lightning component. So if it is saying that lightning bundle must have a parent lightning component. So let's diagnose this problem and we'll see. Okay, so why we are getting the error? This is because we have created this LWC folder by our own. So if you are not getting this LWC folder created by default, so there must be something wrong while we are setting. So please make sure that you have run this command again, sfdx plugins -- core, and then you are seeing this pre-release instance. If you are not able to see this pre-release instance, so what you need to do is you need to run a command that is sfdx plugins install, and then type Salesforce dx at pre-release. Once you hit enter, it will automatically install this pre-release form, Salesforce DX pre-release version. And after you have installed this pre-release version, again just run this command sfdx plugin -- core, and then make sure that this pre-release version you are able to see here next to Salesforce DX 45, because if you remember that once we run earlier, it was 44. So after that pre-release installation of Salesforce DX, you just need to wait for 1 or 2 minutes so that you can get the activated version of that here in this Salesforce Visual Studio Code. And then once you will start follow the process for creating the project, like Control Shift P, and then create the project with manifest, and then after creating authorizing a dev org, then creating a default scratch org. So I did that. I created a new project with test 111, and then I found the folder automatically created, and inside the folder there is lintrix.json and then json config.json. So here you will see that these are the dependencies for LWC, and this is also the dependencies for LWC. So now I'm going to create the component, and that is hello world. So I'm going to copy this text from the trailhead, and then Control Shift P, create a lightning web component, remove the space, and you will hit enter. You will able to see that you are able to get that particular component has been created. Here you can see created hello.js metadata file and HTML file. So this HTML file is the main file. Here you can see that earlier we were able to see Oracle and component, but now we will just able to see the template, and here in template you can put whatever you want. So I'll just show you the demo of the lightning component, and then also go through with some key concept. So let me copy that template here, and now I'm going to copy the JS file, and then I'll paste that file here. So this is the ES6 standard where you can just import. LWC means that from this folder we are importing all these elements that we are getting, lightning elements. We can also import API, we can also import tracks, wires, that I'll tell you what all those terms are. And then here you can say that export default class. This will be automatically taken as a same name as whatever the name you have given the LWC, and then what the lightning element, it is the standard one. So we are just going to replace that code with the code that is provided in lightning component, and then here in metadata JS XML file. So here you can see that we have only two API version. What is the API version? It's 45. That's correct. And each export means if I'm making it as true, that means this particular component will be exposed to the Lightning App Builder. So we don't need to use complete. We are going to use targets. Targets are the attributes where we need to specify like where this particular component will be accessible. So in app page means that we can use in app page, record page means that we can use in record detail page, home page means in home page. So as of now we have just copied the code, and next step is to push the code into the scratch arc. So let's type Control Shift P, and then we just need to type sfdex, and then you can just type push. You can see that push, pull, and all that. So we just need to push source to the default scratch arc. So you just need to select first one, and it will automatically start that sfdx post colon source colon post. Source means whatever the scratch arc, and what is the operation, either pull or post. So we need to post, and let's wait if we are able to. You can see we are able to successfully post the source, and the state you can see that add whatever the full name is hello world, and then HTML JS and all that. Type was lightning component bundle, and if you yeah, you can also see that the type is here lightning component, but the not or a definition bundle and all that. And project path is whatever the path that was here. You can see that was main default LWC hello world and all that. So hello world is itself a folder that contains all these things. So the next thing is that you can open the org with the help of like sfdx colon open default org, and if you hit this open default org, it will open the org that you have created the scratch org on the second step after authorization of dev org. So it will open. I already had open, but it will also open a new one, so I don't need to worry about that. You can see that it opens. And next step is that we already exposed that component here. We already exposed that component here to like record page, app page, home page. So what we need to do is we'll just go ahead, open account page, and then we will incorporate that component. We'll see that we are able to see that component there or not. So let's open sales application, and inside sales, and you will also see that whenever you are creating the scratch org, it already taking care of all the domain enablement and make sure that your domain is ready for testing and deploy to all the users. So it is also a magic itself. I don't have any accounts. I'm going to create a new one for the testing purpose. Okay, so I'm just say that that's it, and click on save because it's a brand new org. There will not be any kind of validation rule and all that. So I'll just go ahead, click on edit page, and after you will click on edit page, we must be able to see that component here because we already exposed that component. So let's see how it is working. In the meantime, it's loading. You can see. Let me walk through you from the code. So you can see that here we are not using any value providers or any expression that we are using in our Lightning components and Visual Force pages from the long time. So this is a quite difference. I can say that completely different to provide the value. We don't need to, like, if you are providing some dynamic value that is directly coming from the Salesforce. I don't need to do anything here. I just need to put curly braces and whatever the variable name is. And on change, I don't need to incorporate inside like double quotes or single quote. I can just provide the change handler. And here, if you see in the JavaScript, we are just importing lightning elements and track. Track is a variable that we can track and use here in our lightning web components. I'll also go walk you through with the different kind of what is the API and all that. Here in the greeting, we are just using world, and then wherever we are calling event, and then event whatever the target value, whatever the value is, like here in the value is greeting, and then we are just using in this hello world, and then we'll see that hello. So let's make sure, like, here scroll down, you can see that hello world, the component that we created, and we are able to see here. Let's drag and drop here, and we are going to save it and activate it, and we are going to activate this for as of org by default, and then we'll see. Okay, are we not? Oh yeah, here we can see assign as org default, save it, and then go back. As you save, here you can already see the output, but I will show you the output. Here you will see, like, you can see hello world, and then here is the word. Like, if I'm changing it, you can see I'm just calling here Amit. It is saying that hello Amit. Like, if I'm saying that accept DC Panther, here you can say you can get that hello world is the title of the component, web component that we did, and it is already taking the icon and all that. We didn't make anything, and here is hello, and then from here it is saying hello, and this is the greeting. You can see whatever the greeting is here, hello world. It is taking one, like, for the first time. You can see a track. This is what, like, if I'm say that this is Amit, and then again pushing this, like, push source to default scratch org, and after pushing we will be able to see Amit as a by default over there. And here you can see, and this is like something different with the lightning component that we are. Okay, you can see we changed, and you can see whatever the state has been changed to the hello world. Now if I refresh this, a hard refresh with control 5, I should be able to see the refreshed, like the refreshed output that I put there Amit. I should be able to put here Amit. One thing that you also need to keep in mind is that you must need to use Spring 19 pre-release org as a dev hub. Otherwise, you will not be able to see, you will not be able to create the projects and all that. And then after, you cannot create web components, Lightning web components from the developer console as of now. There might be like in in future you will be able to create, but as of now you will not be able to create. Here we are still able to see Word. So let me change it, like refresh it and see what we are getting. So these are the two things, two key points that you need to like remember. So as it is taking time to refresh, in the meantime, let me walk you through what we did, and what you need to do remember is, let me open my slide where I can just put that in point wise. So first thing you need to like download the VS Code, and then download and install the Salesforce CLI, and then also set the path. We can also say that download and install. And then after, what you need to do is install pre-release Salesforce DX, that is SFDX plugins, install Salesforce DX at pre-release, and then you can sign up for Spring 19 pre-release org. In Visual Studio Code, inside that what you need to do is you need to install Salesforce extensions pack, and you need to install Lightning Web Component. And after doing these few steps, after following this few steps very carefully, you will be able to see the magic that I have already shown you here. So it has been refreshed. Now you can see that we are able to see here hello myth. So this is the basic things. Now let me walk through, like if you wanted to create some iteration like we are doing here. So here on the division, I'm also using same SLDS like Salesforce DX, whatever the class is here. You just need to use template instead of aura iteration. You need to use here template, and it will be for each. And then for each you can just like say that I'm putting here contacts. I will be creating this variable on the JavaScript side. And then for items, we have items. Now we have for item, and here item will be as a variable, so we can just need to item. And then for the index, where there we have for index, so we can just use that index as well. And then we need to close here. And then what we need to do is we just need to use, like we are using li, and then we need to provide key here. That key will be anything, like we will say that key will be item.id, and then here inside we can use that item.name, item.title. So this is what we did. So we need to create this contact variable here. So let's go ahead and create the contacts, and inside contacts we are going to create some objects. Inside that objects we are going to put like name, id, and all that. So let's say we are going to create id that will be 003, and any id because we are not going to point it out to. The name I'm going to say that Amit Singh, and then for title I'll say that CRM consultant. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, and I'll change this ID. Here I will say that I can say that name is Anuj Singh, CRM consultant, and here I'll say that Ankit Singh. Okay, Okay, why we are getting this error? Expression expected this contact equal to. Okay, now it's we are should be okay. Yeah, now we are okay to go. So now we can just, I'll also show you few things here, like if you wanted to show using the lightning based component, so you can just type lightning here, and here you will also get all the suggestions here. Like I can say that lightning, let's say that I just wanted to format it text. I can just go ahead and in the value I can just say that item dot name, and I'm just going to close this. And then I can also use like lightning formatted text, and also use value, and then value will be item dot title, and then I'll just close this. And here I'm also going to index, and I'll say that I say this serial number. Okay, this is not the complete, so I'm going to use this complete. Name and title, whatever this ID is capital as well here. And now I'm going to push it again to our Salesforce source org, and we will see what we are able to see over there. We are able to see anything else different, or we are able to get some error and all that while pushing the information. So we already, you can see that we have pushed the sources that are changed. There are two, and one is JSON, one is HTML5. So we just need to go through and refresh the page, and in the meantime it's refreshing the page. I can also show you how to import like metadata. You can see that it's a web standard plus metadata. Metadata means it is directly how we can call Apex classes, or how we can get the objects, how we can get the field details here. So you don't need to do, you can just import. You can say that like I'm just saying that name field, uh, name field, and then I can say that from, and then I can type like Salesforce. You can see Salesforce Apex, Salesforce schema, Salesforce user ID. So if I wanted to like account.name, I can say that account name, and then I can just type it. And then if I am importing, like let's say that I'm importing this object name, I can just simply like type Salesforce. You can just say that schema slash account. And now if I wanted to call Apex controller, let's say that there is some Apex controller that I'm that have a method that is returning contact list. I can call simple as it. I don't need to specify that. Let's say that it's contact controller, and then what is the method is like contact list. We can call this, and this like it is saying that this variable has been declared, that we are not using anywhere this. So we can just create a few variables like track, and then we can create name, and then for the name field we can just get name field, and then we can also create track, and we can say that obj name, and then we can say as object name. And then we can also like at this method is returning responsible for creating the list of contact, like a list of contacts. What we can do is we can use wire, that will be like here where we need to use which whatever the method is like. This is not get contact list, and then here we can use our variable, whatever the variable is responsible for storing all the contacts. So this is how you can import metadata directly into Lightning Web Components. You don't need to do any like earlier we were need to specify controller, and then we need to write a lot of code to call the methods and all that. So as this is the simple walkthrough to the Lightning Web Components, I'm not going to tell you each and everything, and I'll definitely be updating the videos on my site. So here We just need to refresh once because we didn't able to see, we are not able to see anything on the component. Here you can see that we are able to see Amit Singh CRM consultant, Amit Singh CRM consultant, serial number is 0. Why we are getting two times? Let me show you. So we are getting two times because of one time because of lightning formatted text and one time whatever we have put in here. And then we are getting two times here serial number 1, that is index, and this. So this is how you can work with the lightning component. This is very easy and pretty cool because we are not going to use any other frameworks. We're just going to use particular web standards that are available in the industry and that are developed on the top of the industry. So that is pretty cool. So let me know you what are all your thoughts on the comment section, and I'll definitely going to share all the links from where you can learn lightning web component and you can start learning your new giant that Salesforce has provided here. So thank you guys, thank you for your time that you have taken out to watch this video. Thank you guys. I'll definitely get back to you with some amazing tutorials on this. Thank you.